Pantheon was my D2 peak. I think honestly Pantheon was D2 peak for a lot of people. It's like it's so hard to explain, like it's weird. Like I don't get why. Like, I don't understand why Pantheon hit as hard as it did. And that's not me saying that, like, I didn't enjoy it. I also agree that it was probably, like, my favorite time in the entire game. But it doesn't make sense to me, like, why everyone loved Pantheon so much. Because, or even, well, like, why I loved it so much. Because, like, there's not really, like, a... If you think about it, right? There was no new guns, no new armor, no new actual rewards with the exception of one emblem per wing. I mean, sure, you could get, like, guaranteed raid exotics, which maybe was a huge draw for a lot of people. So, like, let's not discount that. That's probably pretty massive. But, like, Pantheon was so well-received that, as far as I could tell, tens of thousands of people that had never stepped foot in a single raid ever in their entire lives gave raiding a go with Pantheon. And the reason I feel that way is because when I was doing Pantheon carries in my stream when it started, I had, like, thousands of people. Like, hey, I've never done a raid before. Is that okay? Hey, this is my first time ever raiding. Is it fine? And I was like, yeah, of course. Hundreds of thousands of people watching my guide videos explaining how to do the Pantheon encounters, leaving comments like, this is my very first time raiding, like it brought people into raiding like I had never seen before in my entire life. And I'm confused as to why it did that. I love it. Like, I'm happy that's what happened. I'm typically in things like that, you're able to identify, like, why. You're like, oh, well, the reason everyone loved it so much is because of this. Duh, right? Oh, you know, the reason it was so well received is because of this. Like, and typically, activities like these, they have a reason where it's like, oh, well, they had brand new weapons. That's why everyone loved it. Oh, well, it had a brand new armor set. The cosmetics were insane. That's why everyone loved it. It's like, okay. Or, you know, there's like... But I don't see what the draw of Pantheon was in that regard. And like I said, I loved it just as much as everyone else. But, what do you guys think? All y'all chilling right now. Do you, like, was there a particular thing that drew y'all to it? Or do you have any theories for why it popped off so hard? I mean, I do have a theory. First of all, TD Flatline, thank you so much for the 51 months of subbing. That is a crazy long time. I hope you're doing well, dude. So good to see you. Envoy, thank you for the 50 months and the 2 gifted subs. Also a crazy long time. It's hard to believe I've been streaming that long, but I appreciate you very much as well, dude. I hope you're doing awesome. Max Mella, thanks for the 100 bits. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the support. My theory is, I feel like, am I using this term right? Symbiotic relationship? Where two parties have a relationship with each other and the relationship benefits both of them. That's symbiotic, right? Whereas parasitic is the only one side benefits. Yeah. So I think there was a symbiotic relationship between Into the Light / Pantheon and the release of Final Shape being a couple, like a month, 2 months after. It was the absolute perfect time to get back into the game, if there ever was one. Like, it was absolute perfection for, like, I haven't played Destiny in a while. Oh, there's like a boss rush mode and a ton of reprised weapons and a ton of amazing loot I can get right before I hop back in for the final shape. Perfect. So I think Into the Light, period, benefited significantly from that because final shape was right on the horizon and a ton of people were like gearing back up to go play it, right? But then, like, similarly, I think Final Shape benefited, Final Shape benefited a lot with having a really high player count, at least at the beginning, because of how many people were playing the game at the current moment due to Into the Light being such a great time to play, and Pantheon being awesome, and Onslaught being awesome. I mean, like, the Godslayer title is amazing, for sure, but, like, we've had plenty of titles for plenty of things. I mean, every single raid has its own seal, has its own title, and that doesn't push people in droves to go and do the raids. But, like, Pantheon, like, everyone did it. Everyone flocked to Pantheon. What? Like, what made it so... What was the magic of it? Is it just straight up that, like, hey, boss rush modes are insanely cool? And that's it? You know when I knew? You know when I knew that Pantheon was, like, it? I knew Pantheon was the real deal when it was a Trials of Osiris weekend. And my homie Pure Chill is hitting me up in Discord DM saying, like, hey, bro, we need a 6th for Pantheon. You want to hop on? I'm like, huh? What? Huh? I'm sorry, my boy Pure Chill, who dies if he doesn't play 10 PvP games per day. And like, raids are a lullaby to him. When Pure Chill needs to go to sleep, he just turns on raid music. And he's, me. He's out like a light. I've never met anyone who's more bored with PvE than Pure Chill. It's Trials of Osiris, currently active, and he DMs me. Hey, man, we need a 6th for Pantheon. We're doing the 8-boss wing. You want to come run it? I was like, what? I mean, yeah, absolutely. Pantheon's sick, and I love it, but, like, what? It was like Russell Westbrook, you know? What? What you talking about? What was the question? Russell, did they win that game, or did you guys lose it? What? Oh, God, banger. It's because you were guaranteed a raid exotic. What draws me away is spending hours raiding and seeing people take 40 raid runs to get the exotic. Okay, so are you telling me those of you that were the draw of it was just the raid exotic? Did y'all just do however many runs it took just to purchase your raid exotics from the chest or whatever, and then you were done, you were out? You never did an extra clear? You never did like a bonus clear for fun? You never ran again? You got your raid exotics and then you bounced? Or did you do an extra run here or there? Nah, I did it many times and it was so fun. It's just something about... I don't know, man. I do think we need another Pantheon, though. Maybe to help out a clanmate? Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of things in this game that I feel like people do just to do with a friend who... I think there's a lot of activities in this game where people who don't need the completion of the activities or don't need the loot behind the activities will play the activity with a friend just because the friend needs the completion or the loot. I think that's one of the things that makes Destiny so special. But at the same time, the activity does have to be genuinely fun. Like, you know, if your homie hits you up and he's like, hey, dude, I really need help doing the Featherlight Challenge, Crow to Zen first encounter. Do you want to come help me, even though you've already done it? You're like, ah, man, I'd love to, but I gotta walk my goldfish. Good luck, though. They're like, oh, no, it's okay. I can wait for you. I'll just give it a few attempts until you get back. When are you going to be back? from walking your goldfish, and you're like, it's I'm gonna be back right when you're done with your attempts. Bad timing, I guess. Darn. Like Pantheon. It's like, hey man, you doing Pantheon? It's like, yeah, but don't you have to? Isn't it about that time? Don't you have to go take your goldfish for a walk? And you're like, no, he's fine. You don't even need to walk goldfish. They live in water. That would be impossible. Let's run some Pantheon. What would be the perfect Pantheon, though? Hold up. We're assembling our perfect Pantheon. What's the perfect Pantheon? So previously, what was OG Pantheon? We had, you had Golg, Care, what was after Care? Planets, and then Atrax. Does Atrax have a C? I don't think it has a C, right? I think it's just a K. And then, you had Oryx, who was 6? Who is 6? Who is 6? Who is 6? It went Oryx, Blank, Riven, Nezarec. Rolk. You had Rolk. Rolk. Riven. Nez. Which, in my opinion, by the way, this right here, MVP encounter. This was the GOAT. That was the GOAT encounter. This... second place. Planets goes hard. I love planets. I love planets so much. So good. Okay, if we're assembling our GOAT Pantheon. Right. I mean, obviously... obviously Witness is last, right? I mean, it kind of has to be. It's just 8 Witness. You kill him 8 times and then you're done. I feel like Rolk is part of the GOAT Pantheon, right? Double Rolk has to be part of the GOAT. Triple Rolk? You make 3 Rolks? 4 Rolks? Taniks? Taniks is so easy, though. They would have to do something... They would have to, like, make a change to Taniks. If they want Taniks to be a part of it. I like the Taniks DPS phase. But... I feel like, Well, how would you change Taniks to be cool? Or to be, like, interesting? You need to do something that actually requires you to use Scanner. Because in current Taniks, you can just 4-ball and then insta-dunk. You don't even need to use Scanner. So, maybe... First boss in Salvation's Edge, the Herald. I'm okay with sticking Herald in there. I like Herald. I think Herald's a good boss. I think, I feel like Herald's a little complicated to be first boss, though. I think Planets should stay in the GOAT Pantheon. I think Planets is so good. I think Planets is an amazing encounter. Templar first encounter? I like Templar first encounter. What if we go, like, Templar into Crota, into Planets, into Atheon, and then I think we get rid of Nezarec. Am I crazy, or was Nezarec on Pantheon just, like, not very fun? I felt like Nezarec felt super cheap, in my opinion. I felt like Nezarec was just not a good time. War Priest is interesting. So, like, we go War Priest here. And then... Do we Riven here? Do we keep Rolk Riven? We're pulling 3 encounters from OG Pantheon, but I feel like it's the 3 best ones. I feel like Riven, Rolk, and Pantheon were the stars of the show of OG Pantheon. Black Garden's final boss, Sanctified Mine. I don't like Sanctified Mind very much. I feel like a lot of other people don't really like Sanctified Mind either. Last 4 have to be final bosses? No. They don't have to be anything. We get to... Hey, this is a list being made in Microsoft Paint right now. Nothing. We get to make up the rules. What are the bosses that we're missing here right now? What are the bosses that we're missing? We don't have, what about Vesper's Second? That is a dungeon, good sir. I don't care about Atrax in here. We're missing Kali. We're missing a lot of Last Wish bosses. So we're missing Kali, Shuro, Morgeth, which I don't think any of these are, like, particularly interesting. We're missing Iriute. We're missing daughters from Kingsfall, or sisters, whatever you want to call them. Technically, they're both are, right? I feel like Kali is too boring for Pantheon, to be honest. I don't like Shuro. I feel like Morgeth you could make the argument to get somewhere into here. Iriute, I don't mind. I don't know. I wouldn't want to put daughters in. I like all the bosses we currently have over these. I like this over Taniks as well. Galran. Well, Galran's vaulted. So I highly doubt that they like this is possible, right? In the current state of the game. If we wanted to make like a Herald dropped. Oh, we didn't include Herald, you're right. I guess would you drop War Priest for Herald? Or maybe what you could do is you could remove Riven, put Rolk into slot 7, and put Herald into slot 6. That way you're only carrying over 2 instead of 3. Kill Planets for Herald? You shut your mouth. Planets is so peak. Planets is so peak. All my homies love Planets. Planets is a banger. Oh, Planet sucks. The fire tornado randomly spawns on me and kills me. It's not fair. There's no way I'm able to... Dude, just stand in the middle of the platform. It goes around the border. Oh, well, Mac, that doesn't work because I have to run to the border to pick up the planet. And what if the fire tornado spawns on me as I'm going to pick up the planet? No, you sit in the middle until the fire tornado spawns, either on your plate, or you wait for your teammate to communicate, hey, fire tornado is up, don't worry, you're all good. Comms, baby, comms! Or healing grenades. Healing grenades were peak for that. Then you could tank it. You know... I like when Mac does funny voices. Who's Mac? My name is Yap. I don't know Mactics. My name is Yaptics. This does, kind of... This is interesting, though. Someone mentioned Galran. What would be the GOAT Pantheon? If we included vaulted bosses. Like, vaulted bosses were allowed to be in the goated Pantheon. Obviously, this will probably never happen. But we can dream a little bit, right? So here, let's craft our roster, right? These are optional picks, right? So we have dogs, which you can kind of consider dogs a boss, you can kind of not. I consider them bosses. So you can do dogs. You got Callus. You've got Argos. You've got Valkaor. Let's see if I can remember how to spell his name. I think it was like this. Is it U-O-R or O-U-R? Valkaor. U-O-R. Right? Yeah. U-O-R. I was right. Okay. And then, you got Valkaor, you've got, Insurrection. Ooh, Insurrection could be a poll. Insurrection Prime. You've got, Galron. Was Galron G-A-H-L-R-A-N? Or was it G-A-L-R-A-H-N? Galron had weird spelling. G-A-H... Dude, I'm 2 for 2. I'm 2 for 2 on spellings of old bosses right now. Let's go. Yeah, his name's like Galron. And then, what else got vaulted? Is that it? Is that all the vaulted raid bosses? There has to be more, right? I'm missing some for sure. Axis? That's Destiny 1. There's no reprised Wrath of the Machine. So I don't know if I'd throw Axis in this. 4 raids got vaulted? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 raids got vaulted. You goofball. Leviathan, Eater, Sauce, SOTP, Crown. Okay, so if we're allowed to include vaulted bosses in the goated Pantheon, you have to pull Galron, right? Like, I'm not crazy. Galron is a must. I think Valkaor is also a must. I know a lot of people hated Spire of Stars. God, if you played Spire with a good team, it was so peak. There is no better feeling than just, like, being on the same wavelength as all your other teammates. Chucking balls. Pause. I think... Am I gonna piss a lot of people off if I do this? I know it's kind of iconic, but it's just not that great of a fight. You know? It's like, it's good memories, but it's not... It's just not that, It's not that peak. Callus was mid AF? I don't know if I would rather have dogs than Callus. Okay, that's based. Do we even take dogs, though? Like, I'm inclined to just take Argos, Insurrection, Valkaor, and Galron, and then we add 4 from up here. So, like, in our goated Pantheon, you have to bring Witness. You just have to. It's the rules. I feel like you also bring Rolk. And then you bring Argos. You bring Val. You bring Insurrection Prime. You bring Galron. That is bad handwriting. And then... Yo. I'm just gonna write something down. This is in no particular order, by the way. No particular order. I'm just gonna write something down, and you guys give me a yes or a no. Hold up. Hold up. Before I write it down, let me me see if I can organize this properly. I'm just gonna write something down. You guys type yes or no. Yes or no? No? What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? You're combining... Oh, what? I thought I cooked. Are you not combining, like, no Riven? But, like, narratively, it's like, it's so peak. Okay. Hold up. This is what we're gonna do, then. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. On the count of 3, I want everyone to type the name. Okay. Don't put it in chat yet. But I want every single person to type the name of the boss that they think should replace Riven right here. Don't put it in chat yet. Don't hit enter. Just type it. Type it in the bar. It's like you type it. I'll do a countdown, okay? And then you hit enter. And, oop, uh-oh. What did I just do? You hit enter, and then we replace it with whatever the most popular option is, okay? 3, 2, 1, enter. Idiot. I see mainly planets. Oryx is just so easy. Is my thing. I'm okay with planets, I guess. Yeah. I do love planets. I'm surprised people love planets as much as I do. Best raid encounter IMO? Really? Number 1 raid encounter in your mind is planets? Verity? I do love Verity, but Verity's not a boss encounter. If we wanted to do, like, puzzle Pantheon, then Verity is, like, final encounter in every single one of them. So, in order, we would probably go... How would you order this? You probably... go... I mean, Witness is last, right? Obviously. And then you probably go... Planets is probably first here. And then you go... Probably go into... I think you go Insurrection Prime into... No, wait a minute. Okay, you go planets into Axis. And then you go Insurrection Prime. And then you go Argos. And then you go Valkaor. And then you go... Do you fight the Witness's disciple before you fight the Witness? Or do you fight the wielder of the Crown of Sorrow before you fight the Witness? I agree with, by the way, I agree with swap Argos and Axis. So we go planets into Argos, into Insurrection Prime, into Axis, into Valkaor, into Rolk Before Witness. That right there is the peak Pantheon. You could probably make the argument to like swap certain things out for another. Like I do see a world where like Herald can slot into here. But yeah, that's a pretty peak Pantheon. It'll never happen ever, unfortunately. But yeah, that is my peak Pantheon for sure. Pantheon was a good time. All my homies love Pantheon. Like and subscribe if you like.